At 18, I chased a head start. At 28, I was rebuilding from zero. At 38, I'm continuing to grow what I started. Here's what I tell my 18 and 28-year-old self. All right, a quick snapshot into who I was at the age of 18. What I thought success was at that time was graduate high school, go to college, finish college, get a place, get the job, get married. Essentially the prescribed path that a lot of us go to. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's the path that I was going on. Some of my biggest insecurities at that time was not feeling enough. I had always felt like there was a chip on my shoulder, that people were underestimating me. I remember in high school, there was someone who was, I think 2 years younger than me, who landed a dance agent, and me being a senior in high school, at that time, I was jealous. I wanted to have an agency so I could do dance work as well. This is prior to me even having the skills to reflect, is that what I really want? But they had it and I wanted it too. And then the same thing happened when I went to college. I got into the room and it was very humbling to feel like you're the worst artist in the room. A lot of my friends that I made throughout college were brilliant artists. And even now, they're working at Disney, they're working at DreamWorks. I was blessed to be surrounded by brilliance, but also, am I good enough? Am I going to stack up to this talent? Will I even get hired? And I just got to school. That feeling of not good enough, it made me want to work harder, even though I don't think I was going to reach their specific skill set. I knew I had to level up still. If I wanted to get hired at an animation studio or a video game studio, I had to have a solid body of work. And seeing what was great and seeing where I was at was incredibly humbling and made me hungrier. So it was a blessing and a curse. At that time, there was this voice inside of me that this dialogue or the script that was saying that people were making fun of me. They were making fun of my work behind my back, about my appearance. And I know a lot of that stemmed from when I was growing up. In elementary school, I was being made fun of for my hair and my appearance. And then to the point that one day I blew up, and then that became the thing that people made fun of me for, which then created this voice in my head that people were making fun of me behind my back. And then that became a running script for a long time. All of that really compounding the lack of self-worth, conversations that I was having, the constant comparing of myself to others. If I were to give advice to my 18-year-old self, dude, like, you're enough. Like, what are you doing this for? Like, if you're doing it for others, you did to prove that you're better than others, then they've already won, because your actions are now being dictated by them. So the next thing I'd probably tell them is therapy, anger management. I know you're incredibly passionate about the things that you do, and I know that there's a lot of distrust to the people around you, and that's something worth looking at, because not everyone is out to get you. The honesty that you get from people is because they actually care, and I know it stings, but that's sometimes the truth does hurt. If that causes you to get angry or to feel hurt, then that's something worth discussing through some actual help with a therapist or anger management. Sometimes the biggest thing that gets in your way is yourself, because we refuse to address it. And another thing I'd probably tell them is, like, I know you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, but that's because they have been in the game longer, either through time or through mentors. You know what that's like already in terms of working hard, because you won championships with your team, and that was because you worked hard. You worked all those hours at rehearsals. You got coaching from obviously the coaching staff, and that helped you and your team win. Now, if you with that comparison traps, instead of seeing that as a way of you not being good enough, frame it in a sense of that's the benchmark, or ask them for help. Learn from them. What is their approach to dance? What is their approach to art or animation or whatever classes you're in? Pick their brains so you can learn from them, instead of seeing them as like, oh, they're better than me, and like I gotta do better than them, and I gotta figure it out my own way. Humble yourself and learn. Pick their brains, because then they'll expedite you how fast you'll learn. If you stay at it long enough in the game and be patient, you'll get it with reps, time, and feedback. Yeah, and the last piece of advice I'd give him is that it's okay to be terrible. One of my favorite things now is I like playing basketball. I'm not the best at it. I know I suck shit at it, but I still really enjoy it. So And I think that's something that my younger self could have learned, like just letting yourself embrace how terrible you might be, but enjoying the process. I think that is okay. And even learning how to enjoy the fact that you messed up on something. When I would make a mistake on a performance, I'd be really hard on myself. I'd be like, why the fuck did I mess up on that? I practiced that on it so many fucking times. And it became like a something that I would replay in my head. But now I just like acknowledge I fucked up. I'm like, oh shit, okay. How do I not fuck up again? Do the reps, go back on stage, do it again. So it's not the end of the world. And it's okay that mistakes do happen. It's also okay to look terrible when you try something new for the first time. Anyone who's 18, just graduated, a gap year is fucking fine. Like within 10 years, you'll still be 28 and you'll still be young. Figure out what you're interested in, because you spent a good chunk of time through one specific system that might not be for you. And if it is, go to college. Like find the thing that you care about and go towards that direction. And give yourself some grace to discover, give yourself some grace to make mistakes. From here on out, it's really on you to create the life you want. I know there's the prescribed path of college, career, marriage, and all that stuff, and that's fine too, but it doesn't just have to be that. But also be prepared that it's going to be very different. Travel, experience new things, find what you really love doing as maybe just a hobby, and find something that you're good at that can potentially be the job. And if you're lucky, your hobby is the job, and that becomes your passion, and that becomes your business. The second piece of advice I would say is build your skills, build your network. And speaking for myself as a dancer, not only do I break, I can also do choreography. And I went through some Vogue and punking training, or AKA whacking, that got me booked to do the Six Flags Fright Fest show, which I was not expecting to do. I got booked for it. And because I went through some training, which helped me in the audition. People can potentially open the doors for you, and skills will keep them open. And if you don't have skills, find something that you can get started with. It doesn't have to be something that you like all the time. That small bit of curiosity, allow yourself to explore it, but build on it. Don't just do it for like a fucking month and then bounce out. As they say, skills pay the bills. Building your network can come off in different ways. College is by default a good way of building your network, because those people you are in the trenches with in college eventually go work in the industry and they get you your jobs. That's how I got a lot of my jobs in video games and animation. But in terms of, if you don't want to go that route and you just want to kind of be a nomad and discover different communities, through that interest that you have, find a community. You might be interested in Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, and you go into it and you go to a card shop, and then you start meeting people there in terms of the community, and then you start creating content around it. Or you might just be into photography and video, and you go to meetups where there's meetups that happen where they get to work with a handful of models and photographers, where they do kind of just a work exchange, and you can start building your portfolio that way. What matters is that you kind of find a community that's in that same realm that you want to be in. And if you don't want to go out into the real world and you just want to do stuff online, find an online community. Whatever other platforms exist, just go there. It can be about doing social media marketing and then find your community and learn from there. It can be on Reddit. Just go there, talk, learn, and then who knows? Those people might be the ones that recommend work to you. And the third piece of advice for 18-year-olds, balance. I know it's a weird thing, but that balance is very different for everyone. As long as you're able to, I'd say, execute what you want to do, you can rest and work and study and party. You can. You just got to make sure that you don't fucking lose yourself in the process, that you're exhausted, or that you don't party so hard that you wake up late for class, or you miss a test, or you miss turning in things, or you don't work so much that you forget what having friends is like, and then having that human connection. It's a matter of finding that harmony rather than balance. And everything is dependent on how you live your life. How you live your life is going to be different from how I live my life. So I know I partied a lot during the weekends, but I worked like a motherfucker during the weekday. All right, so snapshot of me at 28. I was 2 to 3 years removed from being in the animation industry. I was honestly tired of doing crazy hours, from just like regular working hours from 40, but then crunch time would be 60, maybe 70 hours a week. That was mentally and emotionally exhausting. I got evicted. I'm living with my mom again. I'm living separately from my son and his mom, and essentially just kind of rebuilding, trying to figure out what the fuck do I want to do, because I knew I was done with the animation industry. I began teaching dance again. I was picking up videography gigs here and there. I was still doing professional dance work at corporate events, commercials, TVs, whatever friends kind of like when they needed dancers, or specifically for breaking or choreography. But I wasn't looking for work as a dancer, but these were gigs that just came along the way that became essentially like a little bit of side cash. At the same time, I was also really getting into YouTube and the whole realm of making money online. I was sold on the idea of escaping the 9-to-5 and living on your own terms and, you know, being a fucking digital nomad. But what I did not expect was the insane amount of work that it really required to make the thing actually be viable. I'd say I fell into the whole, trap, what a lot of people think when they do start doing social media, which is the whole getting rich fast kind of thing. It really wasn't that. It's still a lot of hard work. But the upside is like you get to decide what the hard work is. The downside is it doesn't pay as well, at least at first. It's a lot more work to be at the level I once was. So when I was in the last animation studio I was at, I was earning $45 an hour as a technical director, and then transitioning to entrepreneurship to zero and maybe earning a few $100 a month. So, and maybe $500 a month. And it was like, it's very humble beginnings. The expectation versus reality was real. Like, I was 28, living at home with my mom, and I felt like I was a failure. But I had to pick the pieces back up as this was like, it was a very stark contrast from like, oh, good job, place, living with my fiance, then boom, no place, back at home, having to start all over. There was a certain like level of like where I should be that a lot of people, specifically in our society, say you should be at a certain age. I thought I should have my own place by now. I thought I should be married or something. I have a good paying job. Those conversations definitely, I'd say, fueled me, but also referring back to the comparison trap, it also kind of hurt because at that time, the people I was, I guess, quote unquote, ahead of were finishing school and starting their careers, because I started college early so I can get ahead of the other people that I was comparing myself to. But then come 28, I'm starting all over, but they're starting their careers with higher paying jobs. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm behind. The things that I want to be doing because of this entrepreneurship thing aren't fucking happening. And while it was okay payments, it wasn't sustainable. Or I think I was just honestly just impatient because I was not sticking with one thing long enough for things to be really like profitable in a long-term sense. I feel like the stuff that I was doing, we're doing well. They're actually producing results. I got paid for it. I just had to get more leads and clients and keep doing it for a longer period of time rather than just fucking 3 months. My biggest fears and insecurities at the time were feeling like I was a failure. Getting evicted from my place, going to jail. But I'm grateful that it happened. It was a blessing in disguise, and the lessons that I needed to learn to really slow down and humble the shit out of myself, because I'd say that level of passion that I had was also becoming arrogant, and also like almost like not really being present to the people around me and what was really needed at the moment versus what I thought should happen. Thankfully, I was going through therapy at that time. If I were to give advice to my 28-year-old self, put my hand on his shoulder and like, damn, you just went through some shit. You dealt with going to jail. You dealt with getting evicted, but you went through some shit, and you are still here. And what I want to acknowledge you for is that you did not put the blame on anyone. You took responsibility of it. You royally fucked up. You did. But in that jail cell, you had the moment of like, who is responsible for this? Like, if I am, I'd say like the leader of my life, who is responsible for this? And then you coming up with that answer of, I'm responsible for this. I got myself here because of my choices, because I chose not to listen to the feedback that was being given to me by the experiences around me. And I ended up there. So just acknowledging myself for being able to reflect and see that, even though it was very painful, it was one of the most important lessons that I had and experiences I had to go through. You made it through the other side, but now you got to put in the work now. It's like, if you don't do it, the same shit's gonna happen again. And then obviously you did do that. But also I would tell him that it's okay that you feel lost, especially everything that you had just gone through, are currently going through. And it's okay to feel that frustration, to feel like you're stuck. But because sometimes you might do all the moves right, but you might still feel like you're still in the same place. But if you zoom back out, you'll see you're making progress. It might not be the 10,000 mile progress that you want, but it's 2 steps forward. I think the big thing too is that you're still going. You're still trying things. You're still wanting to learn. You're still hungry. You're still trying to be better. At least you're not holding on to trying to be right. You're trying to improve yourself so you can help your family. So give yourself grace. Everyone's journey is going to be different. That's what I'd say to a 28-year-old self. All right, so here's 4 pieces of advice for 28-year-olds. Again, it's your life. Do what you want to do. This is general advice that I'm sharing from my experience, and I know your current circumstances are different from mine and what I had back then, but this is more general advice that if it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, completely ignore it. Tell me to fuck off. All right, so my first piece of advice for 28-year-olds are, it's okay if you feel lost. Give yourself grace, especially if you're in a transition period in your life. It is totally okay. And it's okay if you had to move back in with your parents. That does not make you a failure. That does not make you any worth less than what you are. And if you still are living with them, that's fine. And if you're living on your own, kudos to you. But during those moments where you feel lost, it's okay. Because no one knows what the fuck they're doing, even though everyone postures like they do. Second piece of advice is lean in on your community. That can be your friend group, that can be your family, shit, that can even be your fucking support group in therapy. One of the things that was definitely helpful for me in processing a lot of this was having a group to talk to. I went to, when I was doing anger management, it was actually an anger management group, and it was nice and validating to know that I wasn't alone, but also to learn from other people's experiences. Same thing with you. Lean into your community from time to time, because you don't have to do everything alone. You shouldn't be doing everything on your own. The third piece of advice for 28-year-olds are move your fucking body. I'm grateful that I see a lot of people that are taking care of themselves, but there's also a lot of people who are very busy who don't have the time to do that. So a lot of people live sedentary lifestyles or like inactive lifestyles, and you probably are feeling it already. If your back is hurting, your shoulders are hurting, your traps are hurting, your knees are hurting, all the things are hurting. Start taking care of that before it gets worse. Like, if you take care of your body will take care of you. And I acknowledge that it can be difficult if you're working a lot. But shit, even 30 minutes in the morning or after work, it sucks shit to actually do it. But if you just get that body moving, even if it's for 5 minutes, like just to start, it's better than nothing, because that shit compounds. If it's bad now, it's only gonna get worse later, because everything after 25 is pretty much maintenance and preventative measures to not get fucking injured, hurt, or even worse, get some sort of illness. And sitting around all day, there's the whole saying of like, if you don't use it, you lose it. Last piece of advice for 28-year-olds is, if you are stuck, explore new things. And if you are thriving, stay grounded. For example, if you're thriving, it's very easy to get in your head and be like, oh yeah, I'm the fucking shit. And then kind of get lost in the sauce of like what's important and the work that you need to do. An example of that for me in terms of like, I guess, thriving, it was, let's go back, high school. When I won my first championship as a dance competitor, I was like fuck, we're doing good. We got a championship. And then we go to the next competition and we see our competitors, and then that shit fucking psyched me out. I saw them, and the first thing I said out loud was like, did we just lose? And we hadn't even gone yet. My captain just said, don't fucking talk like that. Going back to the lesson of like, if you're thriving, stay grounded. Don't get too high or too low, but just focus on what you've got to do. And you keep doing that. Don't get lost in the sauce. And if you're stuck, that means try new shit. Because sometimes maybe your current point of view of the world is just keeping you there. One of the things that I really am glad that I got into was basketball, because then that provided me a different perspective, a different set of experiences that then I took back into work, into dance. Made me curious about how great coaches approached coaching their team, which led me to learning how Phil Jackson and whatnot approached how he built his team culture, which then influenced how I lead my teams. So 38-year-old me now, a snapshot of who I am. I run Vision Paradox, a social media marketing agency. I also run Temper Tantrum Dance Company. I also have Emeroy TV, which is the YouTube channel that you're watching this on now. And I am also a professional dancer, and I still feel as ambitious as I was at 18 and at 20. The difference is now that I feel grounded with experiences. I feel stronger, I'd say, mentally, in terms of mental health. I feel like my expectations aren't as naive compared to when I was 18 and 20. Just still growing and being patient and playing the long game and taking the feedback where I can get it. So things I value now at 38 is, I'd say, brutal. Maybe not brutal. I still have feelings. But actual honesty, if you got a problem with something, let me know. Don't fucking beat around the bush and assume that I can read minds, and then 6 months later, it's a fucking issue. Tell me now. I'm an adult. If I can't handle that conversation, we'll take a pause and try to reconvene. But tell me the truth. If you're gonna be here, be here. If you got a problem, talk to me. Be your word. I just recently had an experience, like literally last night, of, I would say, a form of betrayal that came out of left field from someone who I trusted. And that hurts. And this is actually the second time I'm filming this. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to film this again, because I still do feel some type of way about it. And it's disappointing, because everything seemed like it was fine when it wasn't. So that's why I value honesty. Just be upfront. Don't fucking waste my time. Another thing that I value now is the intentional time that I get with my son. Since he lives in another state, I need to be, like, I cherish that time, because time is so scarce now. Like, I really, really want to be as present as possible with him, because he's entering fucking adolescence. He's becoming a teenager, and obviously it's way different. It's a new phase of life that he's entering, and it's way different compared to, when they're 3 or 8, where they are like so hyper dependent on you. Now he's looking for his own independence. But yeah, even then, I want to be a part of that. I want to, as much as he's open to it, because I know he wants to be his own person, but I still want to be there, even though he doesn't always want me there. Since we're on the topic of time, I'm very stingy with my time. I'm more stingy in the sense of I'm more intentional with my time. Wake up, work, gym, spend time with Max, and spend time with Lauren, rehearsals or a gig. And the only real time I'll hang out with friends is maybe after rehearsals, or if I haven't gone out and hung out and socialized in over fucking 3-4 weeks, I'll go out, because I know I'll get stir crazy, and that connection with other people does feel nice. But I don't fucking want it every weekend. There's no exact time and how much is, like, in terms of like, when do I hang out with friends and whatnot. It's more so like, what needs to get done? How am I doing mentally and emotionally? Am I fucking burnt out? Am I feeling like I don't want to do this right now? Am I feeling stir crazy? Do I need to move? Then I respond accordingly. Aim to have the game plan of what I'm going to be doing, but shit changes. So 3 things that feel easier now. I feel like I care less about people's emotions, but I don't know. That sounds like something someone who cares about other people's emotions would say. But I, because I'd say it's relatively easier to not care, or to at least be honest in terms of like conversations, because that thing that I was talking about earlier is like beating around the bush and not being direct. Obviously, there's a way to tailor the message so that way they don't feel like, you know, you're attacking them, but giving them the appropriate feedback along with the things that they do well, I think is a nice combination. The second thing is, I don't know if this can be considered healthier. It's a coping mechanism, but I'd like to say that I can detach my emotions to focus on the thing that needs to be done. There are going to be situations where you're tired and you don't want to do the thing, but the thing needs to be fucking done. I know for some aspects, like work isn't the end of the fucking world, but if you're trying to hit the deadline or your team needs this certain thing at a certain time, like me feeling tired, me feeling sad can wait just a little longer for me to get the thing that will help impact other people. Because there is some aspects in my life that other people depend on me, I temporarily detach myself from the emotions to get the thing done, to set them up to win, so that way there's no negative impact that I'm projecting. And then I come back to however else I need to process it, whether it's just taking a fucking nap, doing a workout, talking to Max or Lauren about it, just do it before actually processing the emotions. I don't detach it in a way where it's like I don't fucking acknowledge it. It's like I gotta detach myself from the emotion because there's something the moment needs from me that I need to deliver. Do that, come back to it after. and then that just makes me admire my mom so much, in the sense of like she was raising four kids on her own, a single income, while going to school. So I can only imagine how tired she was and how much emotional weight that she had to try to take care of 4 kids. She needed to put food on the table. And she's, in a sense, a big inspiration of me working hard because she did what she needed to do to take care of us. I think the third thing that I do better now is I feel like I regulate a lot faster relative to where I've been. And I'm not saying like I'm 100% perfect at it and that it's always easy, but it's easier. When I was 18, if I would get upset, that shit would linger for a day, maybe even a week. Even at 28, even like I was still new to the whole therapy thing, like it would still take some time to get back to regulate my emotions, to start talking. Because when I get upset, either I shut down and be quiet, or I just say mean things, and both of which are just not productive to any relationship or conversation. Specifically when I get quiet, when I get upset, it takes a while for me to want to talk. It feels like there's a wall that I gotta get over. And I feel like I've gotten better at it. What used to take me maybe a whole day to then hours to maybe minutes helps out. And then because of therapy, because of the tool. So what do I still struggle with is, I'd say still patience. Getting the result that I want, but also not realizing that it's going to take longer thanks to just experience. I think what helps is when you feel like you're losing patience is the actual practice of being patient. It's not when things are easy. There's a part of me that still thinks I could handle situations better. Like, how can I better respond to things where I'm not just quiet? You know what I mean? I still think I'm working through also abandonment issues of like, so because I know people come and go. There's still that little part of me, this voice was very loud when I first started leading people at 16 with my own dance crew. Like, if people left, regardless of the valid reason, like it could be because they are moving, it could be because their school schedule doesn't allow it, but this voice would say, like, oh, they're leaving because you're not a good leader. Oh, they're leaving because this place sucks. They're leaving because they don't like you. But that's still something I work through. I recently had a handful of members, not a handful, like 2 or 3 people leave because of financial issues, of starting a new school, of becoming a parent. These are actual valid reasons, and I acknowledge that there is a sense of sadness that they're leaving, but I don't immediately, I do my best not to attach that to like an attack on my character. Reminders to myself and to everyone else around this age is: one, make sure you're moving daily. You're not getting any younger. Fucking lift weights, get your protein in, get your fiber in, but also let yourself enjoy the shit that you want to enjoy. And the last reminder for myself, of everyone around this age, everyone's journey is different. Don't compare yours to anyone else's as much as you might want to. It's different. What I want my 40s to look like, I still want to be dancing. Like, I thought I would be done dancing by 2020 because I was dealing with such crazy fucking injuries with my knees and my back and my shoulder, which is one of the reasons why I started Vision Paradox, because I was trying to look for another career path that towards entertainment, production, and whatnot. But I still want to be dancing professionally because I feel like a much stronger dancer now than I was then. I feel like the work ethic has been better refined, and I think it's going to continue to get better in terms of the work. And through that, I'd love to be able to spend more time with the people I care about. I'd love to be able to see my son more and for longer periods of time. I'd actually love to travel more again. I traveled a lot in the late 2010s, not so much the past 6 years. I was just really hunkering down and just doing a lot of work. So love to travel more, love to, especially with my loved ones. And so I would love to see all the companies grow. I'd love to see Temper Tantrum be the place where dancers grow, get to create their ideas, make them come to life using our platform. I'd love Vision Paradox to continue helping others tell their stories. I also acknowledge that there's probably going to be a lot of work that I have not experienced or foreseen yet, but we keep going. All right, so that's it. Lessons from 18, 28, and now 38. Comment down below a lesson that you're living right now.